we're going to create an input control. What we have to do is create a control in the repository and then link it to our report so that the report can use that control when it's running. So we're going to create the input control in data items. We're going to create a multi-select query control so we can select more than one type of item to filter our report on. We'll give the control a name, call it select category. We can put anything we like in the description. I'm just keeping it simple here, select category. We're going to make control mandatory, so we have to make a selection from it. We'll define a query in the next step. So we'll name the query. Our query is just going to be named select category, just to keep things simple. And we'll keep the description simple as well. So we'll select the JSR data warehouse data source from the repository. So that's the one we're going to run our query in, and then we'll paste the text of the query already composed, and this is just going to filter. It's going to give us one row for each category that we've got in the database, and we want to we want to use the category code as the value for selecting, but we want to put a description in as well so that the user knows what the category code refers to. So rather than seeing B, they'll see bores, P for parent guilts, and so on. So we'll save that, and we can see in the repository we've now got our select category input control, which was created today. Now we've got to tie things together with our report. So if we look in the query source, there's no parameters available. We're not supplying any parameters. This report just runs and gives everything at the moment. First thing we want to do is add a parameter, and we've got to give this parameter the same name as the input control. So we call it select category. And we've also got to make sure that it refers to a collection and not just a single object. So we've done that. So now when we look in the data source, we should see our select category parameter in there, and there it is. So we can now modify this query. We'll put a where clause in here so that we can check to see if the category that's being presented is in the list of categories that we want. So the syntax for this is slightly odd in iReport. It's not exactly the same as the syntax in SQL, but it does refer to a list, and it's that list property. So we're going to tie our PD category column to the select category list that's created by the user. So we've tied those bits together. One last thing we need to do is add in to our report in the repository the control that we created earlier. So we can see it in data types. There it is, select category. When we're happy, just check everything, nothing odd in there. When we're happy with everything, then we can select that resource. So that is now available in the report. And the last thing that we need to do is we need to update the report so that the iReport that we've just changed is actually in the repository. So we replace the repository document with the current document. That's been successfully updated. So now the repository is up to date, and it's got the ability to use an input control. So we'll just refresh this view, the repository. There's the report loading up, and there's our category. We'll deselect that one, select bores, OK that, and we should and are presented with a stock report which just contains bores. So that's how we add an input control. Everything just refers to the bores, and that's as we expected.